Welcome to the elongated end of our hiatus. Welcome, Luann.
Thank you, Mark. It's great being in person with you.
Yeah, Luann's live in studio today. That's why we got the overhead shot so we can get us both in the view here. It's been probably 3 or 4 weeks since we've podcasted.
It's been a long time since we've even sat down and talked about
Yeah.
the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, let's start out by talking about Kyle Abbott. Kyle, what do you think about what he's up to lately? He's mixed up in a lot of stuff right now.
Yes. Kyle he has a chip on his shoulder, and he wants to, do something that he has a big ego. We'll put it that way. And, he's upset still with his mom and dad, Jack and Diane. And, they're trying to make a little peace with him, but he's cordial to them. And then he and Summer have been going round and round with, getting the custody, because Summer just said, Kyle, you've really changed. And he has, especially with, leaving Jabot and, wanting to move out of the house, the Abbott house, and how he's treated his parents. Summer said, I really don't want Harrison involved in that. And especially she didn't want him to be around Audra. And, Summer was really having this thing that, I don't want Audra to be an influence on Harrison or even have her close by. And it's like, Summer, you really don't have to worry about that. That's not going to happen. And then I think the only person that's able to bring out a good side of Kyle, and he even laughs and has nice conversations, is Claire. So she's kind of his little rock right now, but Kyle thinks only of Kyle. He's what's in it for me kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. And he's turning into kind of a troubled person.
Yes.
Really.
And Jack, in today's episode, if our viewers have watched it, Jack even said, Billy and Kyle are kind of the same. They have the same attitude that they think they're entitled to this. And, they just, it was interesting. Jack said, and the common denominator is me.
Yeah.
And he said, have I created this? And Diane said, no. She said, that's Billy and Kyle. It's just, it's who they are. And they both do great work, but they just have let their egos get in the way.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And you've mentioned Summer, so we'll move on. Jack, Abbott, and Diane update.
Yeah, I know. They still, are very disappointed that Kyle left Abbott, or left Jabot. And, they're talking, they figured it out today too. They said, our sources are telling us that Kyle is showing up late at night at Newman Media. We're putting that link together with him and Victor, that perhaps Victor is the silent partner in Glissade. And she said, if Kyle is truly doing that, that causes me concern. He's going to get in trouble with Victor. And Jack is quite upset about that too, that something bad is about to happen because of that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you're right. Because with Victor involved, Kyle end up holding the bag. He won't have anywhere to go.
Right. And and it's just just kind of going back to Kyle and just pulling him back in. He doesn't trust Audra. Audra doesn't trust him. And it's kind of like at some point they're going to try to throw one or the other under the bus at Glissade. So it'll just be a matter of time. And if Audra is successful in doing that, I mean, she could do it to Tucker. If she's successful, Kyle's going to be left sitting there, and then, Daddy, can I have my job back?
Right. Yeah. I didn't mention the date, by the way. Today is August 21st for our listeners, so they kind of know, because we mentioned today's episode. So today is Wednesday, I believe.
Yes, Wednesday. The days go by so fast when you're retired.
When you're retired, it's kind of like Wednesday is Friday and Monday is Saturday. And
It's kind of like being when we were in school, having summer vacation all year round.
Right.
Retired.
It's awesome.
Yes.
All right. Victor Newman and his conniving are continuing.
Oh, he's got his plans.
He enjoys it.
He does.
You notice that?
Yeah, because it was interesting watching him with Billy Boy today, and he already has it figured out what he's going to do with Chancellor, and it's just a matter of how he was egging Billy on. It's like, well, if you really are the CEO, we big guys talk together. Do you think you can handle that? Just egging Billy on and kind of asking about. He said, I've been hearing rumors about your mother, and Billy said, oh, really? They're just rumors, and not really letting on either. And I know Victor is chomping at the bit to bring Billy under, take over Chancellor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I had texted you earlier this week or last week. I said, Billy Boy is an idiot. It's like, what the heck is he doing with his company? And I was hoping Lily would give him the boot out the door. And today Billy said,
kicked her out.
Your services are no longer needed.
Yeah, he fired her. He got rid of her.
Yeah, so
wow.
This is going to speed up, I think, Victor's plan to take over Abbott Chancellor. Because Billy is always correcting whoever says Chancellor. He's like, Abbott Chancellor. And if Victor does that, because now if Lily is truly out of the picture, Victor's going to come after Billy. And he and Jill will both be left there. And Jill's not going to be happy. And, being so far away, she's going to be very upset.
Yeah. And Victor, he gets along. I mean, they've had their battles over the years, but Victor gets along with Jill for the most part, but he stepped on her toes before. It wouldn't be the first time.
Exactly. In the past, they've always butted heads.
Yes, they have. Business-wise, especially.
Business-wise. And it's sad if that does happen, because Jill, and Victor even asked, he said, why would your mother turn over everything for decision making to you, Billy? And it's just, and Billy said, well, she had confidence in me. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But no, Victor is looking to bring down Chancellor.
And he wants Nicki to run it, doesn't he?
Yes, he wants Nicki to run it, and he's wanting Adam to do the dirty work, to put different media outlets stories out there, making it look bad for Billy. Putting negative stories out there, and he knew Nicki wouldn't do it, because Nicki said, "This is why you took me out of this position and put Adam in it, because you wanted Adam to do your dirty work," and he. Pretty much Victor said, yeah, because I don't know if you would have, because Billy is their, grandchildren's dad. So Nicki would have been a little softer, I think.
Right.
But now it will be interesting after today's episode. Lily came back up after talking with Billy, sat in a chair across from Victor and Nicki at the restaurant. And they both kind of looked at it and said, something to do with Billy. So it'll be interesting to see.
And I agree with you. I think that'll all be accelerated just based on the fact that everybody likes Lily, including Nicki today. Yes. You could tell if she cares about her.
Yeah, because she said, Nicki, as she was talking with Lily, heard Lily say how much Catherine Chancellor and Jill meant to her over the years.
Yep.
And that she would never do anything or let Billy do anything to ruin the reputation or the business of Chancellor.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. All right. We mentioned Nicki already. Any other thoughts on Nicki Newman?
No.
How's this all going to go for her? I mean, what do you think?
Well, I think she's, first she wasn't on board, but I think because she has very fond memories of Catherine
Chancellor and her were very close. Yeah.
And I think she is, if everything can work out and they can bring Lily on board, I think Nicki feels very comfortable working with Lily, and I think it would be a nice change for.
Might be a co-CEO kind of thing, even I could see.
Especially because I think Nicki knows that Victor wants to put Adam at that position, and he doesn't want him to be touched. Because Nicki and Victoria both kind of talked Victor into, talking with him about putting Adam in that position, and I got the feeling from Victor that this is not for discussion.
Right.
I made a decision.
Yeah, when Victor makes up his mind, it's pretty much made up.
Yeah.
He'll tell people, nope, that's it. That's the end of the story.
Right.
Any other comments before we go into Super Sudsy questions?
Well, the only other comment I have, and I'll see if it's in the Super Sudsy, is that with regarding to with Adam and I'm drawing a blank now. And
Sally?
No, not Sally. The Connor's mom.
Claire, I can say her real name. It's Claire Ingen or Egan or something.
Anyway,
Yeah.
they're both. She especially is wanting to admit to Billy what she and Adam did that one night. It's tearing her apart.
Well, they're both super suspicious right now that something happened between those two. And yeah,
Sally and Billy are both very suspicious.
yes, Sally, yeah, right.
So I think pretty soon the beans are going to be spilled.
Yep.
That Adam.
Chelsea.
Thank you, Mark. Good. You know, it's
Eventually I get it.
hey, it's heck getting old. Sometimes you're.
It is tough.
But no, Chelsea has just been besides herself, and she loves Billy, and it's killing her that she's lying to him, and Adam is kind of able to move on from it better. I think he's put it, out of his mind, but Chelsea's having a very difficult time. So I think, she may be the first to spill the beans, but you never know. Maybe Adam will just be like, here it is. So, because Sally's a smart chick, and she said, I've done this in the past.
She knows
with lying, and so I could tell there's something going on.
Yeah.
But so it'll be interesting when that happens.
Yeah, I agree. That will get interesting. That'll be an interesting storyline. All right, going into Super Sudsy, when will the Victor Newman takeover plan happen?
Well,
and what will happen?
What we were talking about, I think with Billy moving Lily out of the company, I think it's going to progress everything faster.
Okay.
I think Victor's going to want to take over Chancellor first, so you get Nicki on board, and then put out some bad press for Billy, have Adam do that. And then once that's all settled, he'll go with Glissade after Jabot.
That's what'll happen.
That'll be coming too. And it's interesting how I just want to kind of, before we go on to the next one, is, Victor was always the silent partner. It's like, nobody should say anything.
Right.
And it's just a matter of time when it gets out. First, it's Summer's trying to figure out with Kyle, who the silent partner is. Nate figured it out with Audra.
Nate's got it figured out.
He was very sharp. He said, when he said, I know who it is, he said, you do? And he said, yeah, it's Victor Newman. And then how Diane and Jack have figured it out. So, eventually that is all going to come out. And, and maybe Victor doesn't care. I don't know. But
I think he does, though, because he was talking. Who was he talking to today where he was, Kyle. He was trying to convince him that he wasn't taking over. Mm-hmm. Well, Billy, too, when you talk to Billy.
Yeah.
Oh, Victor. Watch out for Victor.
I know.
All right. Let me see here. I had a few things come together here. Yeah. Are Jack and Victor headed for war?
Oh, yes. I believe it's just a matter of time, because he's really riling up Jack, especially because of Kyle. What he's doing to he's trying to break apart their family.
Right.
And in the previews, it kind of showed something where Diane is willing. She said, I'm willing to take one for the team. If she's going to do something to get more information from Victor, or do something where she is the buffer between Jabot and there, and to see what's going on and see how she can get Kyle back.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's all I had for this episode. Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts before we move on to the bold?
No, I think that covers everything for Young and the Restless.
Okay, good.
Pretty well.
I think so.
Because over the last 3 weeks that we haven't,
it's been kind of minimum storyline.
Yeah, it's been very kind of slow sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just this week, this past week and this week, more storylines.
It's picking up. Yeah, I agree.
Up, yes.
All right, let's move into the bold and beautiful.
Yes.
Steffy, Finn, and Hope. What do you think? Let's do an update on that whole situation.
Hope is blaming it on the champagne and getting caught up in the moment. And when she kissed Finn last week, he recoiled and just looked at her and pushed her away. And I think Hope was taken aback too, that I don't know what she was thinking.
Yeah, I don't know what she was expecting.
Did you really think Finn would,
He's just gonna,
reciprocate it? It's like, that ain't going to happen because he loves Steffi. And,
And he's had enough problems
he's had enough problems.
with him and Steffi. So,
But he's one that he is, he loves Steffi and he wants to be honest there too. He didn't want any secrets between them, because when he told Hope, I'm going to be telling Steffi, Hope was like, I'm sure that's when the reality really hit, because she's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm so sorry. It was a mistake. She said, don't do that, because Hope knew the repercussions of what she had done afterwards. And Finn said, no, I have to. And then when Finn was explaining it all to Steffi, I mean, Steffi, it was, and I understand why she was upset, rightfully so. But what he should have said is, I pushed Hope away. I did not want to, she surprised me. I pushed her away. I was very clear with her that I don't want this to, it's not going to turn.
it's not going to happen.
Because I love Steph. He didn't really tell Steffi that, and I thought we should have. But Steffi, and her first reaction is, I got to get away. I got to get away.
Yeah, she does that.
Yeah, and it's like, and he's like, no, you don't. We have to work.
Let's work it out.
And and I understand where she feels. He's, with Sheila, he's always.
He doesn't shut those situations down.
He's too nice.
He's too nice.
Sometimes there's people that are too nice, and Finn is, and maybe because he's a doctor or whatever. But he was very sad and disappointed that she wanted to leave again. But after she left in today's episode, that was so good.
That's a good scene
for our viewers. That when she came into Hope's office, and Hope is like, I know what you're going to do. And Steffi's like, stop, I'm going to talk.
She was pissed.
She's very angry with Hope. And now it's like, wonder what that does for Hope for the future. She's like,
no, it's not about that too.
And Brooke is, because Hope confided in Brooke, and Brooke is like, oh my God, what did you do? Because things are just getting good between Brooke and Steffi. And now Hope did this, and it's like, it's going to blow it all apart again.
I do think, though, that when I think about Steffi, her hatred, I mean, when she goes off on these things, she just has no understanding whatsoever.
It's very black and white to her.
For her, it's very black and white.
Yeah, there's no gray, and she always feels like it's her. I don't want to say it's her way or the highway, but it's kind of like, like when she said, I don't want you to have anything to do with Sheila. Don't want you to have anything to do with Hope. It's my way. I'm telling you, Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All right. So Hope, she's a mess.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And, Brooke even says to her, it's like, what are you thinking? What?
But why does she talk to Brooke about this stuff?
And then Brooke goes on and
on. And on. I'm like, oh.
And then Brooke,
and Brooke, I mean, I don't know, of all people, of course, I've said that 100 times, but
she's been there, done that.
Yeah, she's done that.
And Steffi throws that always in Hope's face. You're just like your
mother. Yeah. Yep. All right. The next agenda item. Taylor is back.
Yeah, it's a new Taylor.
It's a new Taylor.
What do you think of the new Taylor?
She's not too bad of an actress. I thought she acted pretty well. Mm-hmm. It's like anytime you switch actors or actresses, it's hard for me to warm up to it.
Right.
She's not a terrible actress. I don't think she's as good as Taylor, the old Taylor.
And I was a little disappointed because I thought, well, why did they get rid of the old Taylor?
Maybe she didn't want to come back. She's got other things going on, too.
But I had the impression when she was leaving that she was kind of surprised, too.
Yeah, I did, too. I read that as well.
And this Taylor, like you said, she seems to be doing a good job. She seems like a younger Taylor.
Yeah.
That's what I know. It's just like, you don't look like you're that much older than Steph.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I agree.
But it'll be interesting to,
see what they do with that. Yeah.
She and Ridge interact.
Yeah. Yep. She and Ridge had a frank talk today. It'll be interesting, as you mentioned.
About Steffi.
About Steffi.
Steffi. And, they chat a little bit about Thomas. But, it's kind of, Taylor's really is there for Steffi, defending her and being, like Ridge, she said, Ridge, you're making a lot of decisions that you're not really considering Steffi's feelings on some things.
He does do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Brooke update. You've kind of given us a Brooke update, but
and she, her little bedroom line really took off, and they were in Monte Carlo, and it was kind of fun watching some of the scenes from there. And she and Ridge had a great time, and Steffy, was a little snooty about it because it was like I think she wants it to succeed because it's good for the business, but she doesn't want it to succeed because it's Brooke.
Right.
I think that was the dilemma there.
But after the show and that whole thing went on over in Monte Carlo, she was pretty congratulatory to Brooke. I was actually quite surprised.
When they had the party at Eric and Donna's house.
Yeah, right.
It was a good time. And it was a crossover. Danny Romalotti and
oh, God.
And Cricket came. Christine came in to sing and celebrate with them. So
there's two things, though, as long as you brought that up, is that Danny Romalotti, he sang that song at Eric Forrester's, and I thought, he's not terrible, but he's not that great. No. And as a singer or entertainer, but the one that I thought was really good, I'm going to go back to it just because I don't think you and I have talked about it, but is back when Tom played at the, Tom died.
Yes.
But Tom played when they were trying to pass him off as some sort of rock star.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was that bad of an actor, but I had a little trouble with the singing part because and everybody's just kind of.
I know. It just looks so fake.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you keep beat to that music? It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I just thought of that. I thought that was quite interesting. Any other updates on the bowl?
Yes, Mark.
Sure you do.
You're skipping over the
I know.
one.
I missed a lot of it, so you bring it on in.
Last Friday's episode ended where
yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Poppy, the episode before that, Poppy was arrested for, the deaths of Tom and Hollis. And, and there was a backpack found in her old apartment, Poppy's old apartment. Luna found it, saw some of the letters and said, what are all these letters that Tom wrote you about being my dad? She said, isn't Bill really my dad? She said, no, we did, Lee did the paternity check, and yes, my father. So, okay. So then we go to Friday's episode, and all of a sudden, Katie has really been after Bill too.
Yeah,
it's like, this just doesn't seem right. Something is up with Poppy. You don't go 20 years without, trying to find the father of your daughter. And she thought she was lying, and she said, I want to believe Luna's really your daughter, but you need to check into this further. And then all of a sudden, Luna told her boyfriend about the backpack, and he told Katie. And so Katie went to the police and said, hey, I think you need to take a look that Poppy's been in drugs before, and now there's this backpack with these letters. And so the police came and arrested Poppy at Bill's house, and Luna's beside herself. And so she's taken to prison, or to the jail. And then Luna is crying, and Bill says again, because Katie had said to him before they left, I think you should do another paternity test. And Bill said, are you okay if we do another paternity test? And Luna said,
I saw that part.
Sure. So, they do the paternity test, and, they're waiting and waiting for the results. And then Bill says, I'm not your dad. And Luna was so disappointed. And then they're sitting on the couch, and Luna's crying, and he's comforting her, and he said, but you will always be my daughter. You're always welcome here, and talking about Poppy. And then she went in to hug him, and the first time I thought, boy, that's kind of weird. It was just, you could tell some reaction there. And then she pulled back, and then she pulled in with a big kiss. And I was like, oh my God. And Bill was, responding at first, and that's how they ended it. Well, then in Monday's episode this week, Bill, as they pulled away, Bill's, thank God he was the adult in the room.
Yeah, no kidding.
He said, this can't happen again. He said, I know you're feeling very emotional, and that's how I'm going to take it. He said, there will never be anything more that happens. You are like a daughter to me, but no more. And so you wonder, is there another side to Luna,
Well,
Or was
right.
she
That,
just-
that surprised the heck out of me.
Yeah, or was she just very emotional
Yeah.
and she, she's afraid she doesn't want to lose Bill because he's been the closest thing to a dad. No, but you just don't do that.
That was weird. Yeah.
That was weird. So I think, thankfully, Bill.
Was the adult in the room,
yeah.
which is unusual for Bill, by
That's
the way.
unusual for Bill. and I'm sure he was disappointed too that he really wasn't Luna's father.
I'm sure.
Because
Seemed like he was.
Yeah,
And I'm sure he was.
because he was very excited, very welcoming to her, and so I was actually surprised that part of the storyline came already. I thought they would drag that out a little bit more to keep us guessing. Is he really?
Yeah, that's
father
true.
or
That's a good point.
And then
Yeah, it's surprising they didn't.
yeah,
Right.
and Lee came to visit her sister Poppy, and Poppy was very nervous talking to Lee about everything. But I thought it was good of Lee when she said, of all the things you are, and she said, I don't always agree with your lifestyle, but I know you're not a murderer. And Poppy said, you don't know how much that means to me. But now there's still questions about, to me, it's like, how did that backpack get in Poppy's apartment? Who really killed Tom and Hollis? Because, I believe it's not Poppy, and I don't think it's Lee. It's like somebody is still running around out there, the guilty person.
Jack.
That's what I think so.
I think it's
too.
Jack. I've been predicting that for a while. Yeah.
And then the other question, who really is Luna's father? Too.
Good point. I think it's Jack.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. It could be.
Okay. Super Sudsy.
Okay.
Let's go. If Steffi leaves town, will Finn get involved with Hope?
Not at the start, I don't think, because Finn was very turned off and upset with Hope. He said, we had a friendship, and it's kind of like you took it somewhere that it shouldn't have been going. So I don't think so. I thought if she wanted to push herself on him, maybe at some point he would, unless Steffi stays away from him. And
well, that was my other question for you is do you think Steffi's taking some sort of a hiatus from the show?
I don't know. That would only mean another baby.
Jeez. Be what, 6?
Four.
4?
But I don't think so, but I don't know.
I know, but it just seemed odd today, like I have to leave. And it felt a lot to me like when these writers write this stuff, that it was like she's going to be out for a while. I don't think they're writing her off the show, don't get me wrong.
no,
but
I
I
know
do
what you
think
mean.
maybe...
Yeah, especially if she goes to Italy.
Right, if she ends up leaving the country or whatever, yeah.
Well, and hopefully, her mother just came back, Taylor.
Right.
It's like, well, stick around so you can see your mom a little bit. But
And maybe she will.
and at the end of today's episode too, Brooke was talking to Ridge about Hope and Finn, and of course, typical, they don't close the door. And
Yeah.
just as she said, well, Hope kissed Finn, and then walks Taylor. She's like, your
Yeah,
daughter
that's right at
kissed
the
Mom.
end.
Steffi's husband. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and those two hate each other, Taylor and Brooke.
They'll start again.
Yeah. So why do you think Taylor's back? What do you think this means for the show? Is there an agenda for her?
There has to be some agenda because
I think so.
I would hope again that they don't try to make it with the three of them again.
I know that story's so old.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
It's like if you could bring in someone else or another character to be with Taylor, that you create some storyline there. But otherwise,
I would have voted for that,
Yeah,
Luann, back when the old Taylor was
know
on.
and there were plenty of chances to do that.
I know.
And
They really missed opportunity. And Terry, my other co-host, she also says that too. She goes, they really lost.
yeah.
They lost a good storyline potential there.
Because if Taylor is just there back again, just to kind of be there to support Steffi, listen to her,
Right.
and then to make Brooke and Ridge's lives miserable, well, that's kind of the same old.
I guess that's my other question for you. Do you see Taylor pursuing Ridge again?
Probably. If they don't line her up with someone else, she
Yeah,
probably,
right.
It gets pretty boring listening to Steffi. So she'd be like,
And Brooke too, for
yeah,
that matter.
Brooke.
You had alluded to this, Luann, earlier, but do you think now with Steffy being pissed off, do you think the hope for the future line is in jeopardy?
Oh, I think it is. I think it is too. Because the key thing is it wasn't profitable either.
Well, that's it. That's right.
This gives Steffy every reason.
And Ridge might have a change of tone too now. Even once if he finds out, he might be pissed off and hope too, and say, "Yeah, we're going to cancel."
Yeah, we'll just dump it.
We'll dump that line,
and then they'll look at that the Brooks line
and put the Brooks bedroom line, and yeah.
Stick more money and funds into that. Mm-hmm.
I do have to say, just to touch on the Brooks bedroom line, we talked about it when they were over in Monte Carlo, but I wasn't sure what they were going to do with that, and it actually wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad.
I was thinking, for a middle-aged woman, it's it's kind of hard. She's good-looking.
Yeah, but I was actually surprised. It was very tasteful.
I thought it was too. I was surprised.
And Brooke actually looked good.
She looks good.
Her age.
She does look good.
Yeah, she keeps herself nice, and makeup and hair. They did a great job, and it was good.
Yeah, I thought so too.
She sold the line well.
She did, and there's lots of orders. Evidently, it sounds like. That's all I've got, I think.
Yeah, because you were asking.
Oh, Thomas was the only other thing I was going to ask you.
And at some point, I think he'll come back. The question will be, will he have already got married to Paris, or will they be coming back here to do the wedding? Because Eric had offered his home.
I think so.
For the wedding. I would think.
It'll be at the Forrester Mansion.
So I hope they, because a lot of times these soaps will do the storylines without us seeing.
We don't even know what happened. Yeah, right.
It's like,
they just tell us it happened after the fact.
They're married. And it's like, no, because this would create a big celebration for them at Eric's.
Well, then they always have the almighty, when right at the peak moment of the wedding, somebody always steps in or something major always happens.
And this could be one of those.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's like with Steffy and the Finn and Hope, saga.
I hope they do that. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I do too.
We'll see.
Or with Ridge and Taylor, at that point too.
I always like that one too. But we'll have to see. I don't know what kind of an actress this new Taylor's going to be. We'll have to see.
Yeah, she'll have to ease into it, and it will be interesting to see how they do create her character, because she's been on and off so many times. This is, while I've been watching, the third Taylor.
I know it is. Yeah, me too. Same here. Yeah. No, I agree. Mm-hmm. Any final thoughts, Luann, before we close?
Trying to think on any of the other Bold and Beautiful storylines going.
I'm glad you picked up on that other one.
Yes,
I did not.
That was important.
That was a good one.
Yeah. I can't think of anything.
Oh, good. I think we covered it.
Yes, yeah. And now it may be a couple weeks again before we get together.
Yeah, that's right.
To discuss.
Luann is in Minnesota visiting me and my wife, and she's a good friend of ours, and she's here visiting us, and we're moving, so the main podcast studio will be getting torn down here shortly. It's going to be in transit. So it'll be a couple weeks, and then we'll be back. But we will be back.
Yeah, and then I'll be back in Florida, and we'll be able to podcast again together. But and we'll have some. It'll be interesting to see where all these storylines are by that time.
Yep, I agree. Mm-hmm. All right, until we dish again, keep it sudsy.
Oh yeah.
And we are out.